Again. When the weekend was first coming up, Drake said, sign on my label. The weekend said, nah. Drake said, okay, can you help me with some songs? Though, the weekend said, sure, why not? Drake said, can you help me with some more songs? There's some more songs. Matter of fact, can you just give me half your album? The weekend.
The only way she can feel safe in letting you lead is if you've proven to her that you are capable of leading her, right?
But you have to prove.
Hey, welcome back to Black Press. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Now let's get to it.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back.
I'm your girl Trish.
I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
And we are
Black Press.
If this is your first time watching, please remember to hit like, comment, share, and
subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications for all future episodes. So, welcome back. If this is your first time, hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, because we're gonna be giving to you hot for the entire summer of 2024. So, speaking of that, we done already had Drake and the Kendrick Lamar, then shots getting fired, and I don't know, somebody got their toe shot off. I think, I don't know. Anyway, everything is going crazy. Well, that dude that Lil King was beefing with he been shot before. Anyway, so everything was going on, and if you like me, it's too much to keep up with. It's too much beef, too much drama. It's really starting to look like, real Housewives of Hollywood. But anyway, you saw a video and sent it to me, and I thought it was a great explanation of what's going on, because I'm like, what the heck is going on? So, here is what is happening.
This is the breakdown.
Aubrey Graham. See, Aubrey had a problem. Everyone hated him. And it's so much more people than you can imagine. I'm gonna need y'all to lock in. When the weekend was first coming up, Drake said, sign on my label. The weekend said, nah. Drake said, okay, can you help me with some songs? Though, the weekend said, sure, why not? Drake said, can you help me with some more songs? There's some more songs. Matter of fact, can you just give me half your album? The weekend said, I don't really have a choice because I'm a new artist, but I'm not going to sign your label. Drake said, that's okay. We're still friends. Then Drake started dating his ex-girlfriend, Bella Hadid. Meet A$AP Rocky. Drake took him on his first tour ever, but Drake noticed something. A$AP Rocky kept hanging out with this girl named Rihanna, and Drake really liked that girl named Rihanna. Fast forward years later, A$AP Rocky gets married to Rihanna and they have kids. Drake didn't like that very much. So Drake starts saying mean things about him and his wife, so he gets mad. Meet Ricky. He thought Drake was a little weird because of the whole Meek Mill situation and for the fact that Drake called for a cease and desist on a French Montana song behind the scenes. But Rick said, we're still friends. Rick Ross then features on Metro Boomin's new album, does not say anything about Drake, but Drake took it some type of way. So Drake invites Rick Ross's ex-girlfriend to his concert. Rick Ross doesn't like that very much, so he gets upset. Which brings us to Metro Boomin himself, who's the man who kind of started this whole thing. See, Metro didn't really like Drake because Drake has always been weird. Pusha T is signed to Kanye's labels. They were close, so Kanye chose Pusha T's side. But then Drake starts getting close to Kim Kardashian. Kanye thought that was weird, so he says, screw you, Drake. He's also had beef with Tyga, Joe Budden, Jhené Aiko, Tinashe, Childish Gambino, I believe. A million people. But most of all, the people have always been a little annoyed with Drake. Fun fact, Drake as well as Kid Cudi and Kanye were the first people to make semi-nerdy cool in the rap game. Those three were in the forefront of rap is changing. But everyone tolerated Kanye and Kid West, but Drake took things to a whole nother level. Let's just be frank, Drake is half white. But that's not the problem. The problem is, to many people, Drake puts on a persona of blackness. If you're not black, that's not up for discussion. Listen closely. J. Cole is half white, but he acts like J. Cole. Accepted. Lil Yachty is from the suburbs. Acts like Lil Yachty. Accepted. So Drake being half white and being from the suburbs really has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that he pretends to be someone he's not. That kind of annoys some people. It's the fact that many artists claim that he takes their songs. XXXTentacion is one of these people. This is why his whole crew OVO hates them, because they make music too. But apparently he takes all their songs and doesn't let them release any music. It's the ghostwriter claim. It's the fact that he's always messaging young women. It's the random petty stuff he does online. Now you may be asking yourself, has all this been going on for 15 years? Why would people still mess with Drake like that? Well, that's because he was making good music. The moment he stopped making very good music, The bubble that
People
he'd
got
been
tired of
building for so many years was
It's
ready
the
to pop.
same.
And then
Mhm.
there's Kendrick Lamar. See, Drake took Kendrick on his first tour, the same one that he took A$AP Rocky on. But then Kendrick comes out with a song called Control. It's a Big Sean song as well. And Kendrick is throwing shots at everybody in the industry, but it's friendly competition. He said, I got love for you all. Everybody he named was cool with it. In fact, they said, if you got named in that Kendrick verse, that means you're a good rapper. Everyone except for Drake. You see, Drake took it the hardest. He took it very personal. Drake went to Kendrick, said, Kendrick, uh-huh. Drake said, why would you say you got love for me, but then say you want to take the rap crown from me? I would like an apology. Kendrick said, okay, I'm sorry that you took it the hardest. In fact, I hate you, and I've always hated you. You know why? Because you're weird. I don't like your morals. I never wanted to say anything, but it turns out I just found out that I'm a little weird as well. So, let's talk about it. Drake said, fine, we finna see who the craziest. Kendrick said, you don't want to do that. Everyone in the industry tried to tell Drake, you don't want to do that. Drake did it. Well, that's why we're here now. Meet.
He actually made a really good point. Do you recognize that most people that are not like in the drug piece or didn't come up on the streets
They rap
are
about it the most.
kind of weird as rappers? Like, and they become rappers, they're kind of more weird than most people.
Crazy thing is, so I don't see Drake as like a rapper. I see him as a singer.
He's a pop artist.
He sing.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he has some rap.
it sounds like he's singing though. It doesn't sound like
It's pop. He's. I
doesn't
mean,
sound like Jay-Z, basically.
yeah. I mean, but there's more than one different type of rap. I mean, because Kendrick Lamar don't sound like Jay-Z.
Kendrick Lamar. But he sound like he's rapping, like he's spitting,
Yeah.
like he's like
Some of his,
yeah.
but some of Drake's music was rap. He just got a lot of but
He
he
was
has a lot.
singing.
The stuff that he sounds like he's singing is the stuff that actually makes it hot, like that goes to the top of the chart because it's entertaining to the kids. So most of the stuff that you hear is the stuff that made it top of the chart, and a lot of it sounds like singing.
If you go in the booth and he's like,
But I'm saying you haven't heard all of his songs, so
I
it's
have. I heard a lot
okay.
of his songs. I'm trying
I
to
say
think,
all of his songs, and then you say a lot.
because I'm
That's not the same
trying
thing.
to think of a song that he has where he sounds like he's spitting, and I can't think of one.
That's because you don't listen to the ones that made him hot.
I listen to. I used to be
same.
a Drake fanatic back in the day. I had his album, and the
Uh-huh.
whole thing, like, you can only listen to it so much because it sound like all throughout. But okay,
Yo, it just sounds like Drake is really messed.
yeah.
Like Drake need to be on Real Housewives for real.
Well, he's an actor.
I know,
So,
right? I saw some of that early footage. It's
yeah.
pretty interesting. But he also made another good point, which is something that's hitting because of DJ Vlad
Mhm.
with the whole you can't, if you're white, you can't make comments about black music, black artists, black community.
Yeah.
And it didn't actually hit me. First, I was like, shoot, if they in it, why shouldn't they be able to talk about it? Because if you can make the money,
Mhm.
if they can make money from white people listening to it, why shouldn't white people be able to talk about it? What do you think about that?
Mm, I think everybody should be able to talk about it. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Because if it's music, it does something to you. I don't think music has a color.
Yeah. And I thought the same thing.
Mhm.
I thought the same thing, and then I thought about it, and I said, wait a minute. White people, as far as in America,
Mhm.
have profited off of the work of black people
Yeah.
since they started bringing black people to America.
Mhm.
So the issue that I think a lot of people take is, well, you can't talk you can't talk about it. You shouldn't be able to make any type of profit
Mhm.
off of anything that we do because y'all been taken from us for so long. I think that's the animosity that a lot of black people have about white people talking about black issues. And that's what they have about DJ Vlad. And that's that point where he was saying Drake is mixed.
But once you mix, you black.
Yeah, but you still get some. If you in a, it depends on the family
that's
you
not
in.
fair.
Well,
until there's like an
no,
a black issue when you're mixed, they want to throw you in a bucket like, oh, you're not that black, so you can't relate.
Or you're growing up as a kid and kids are calling you light skinned and you're not black because your mom is white.
Not black enough.
Not black enough, right? Not black enough to be in the black community. Not white enough to be in the white community. So you're like, where are you?
Mhm.
So if you grow up like that, why shouldn't you be able to be just as scarred as black people because you grew up being, disregarded?
Mhm.
But the whole beef is ridiculous. I doubt that the people that shot at Drake's house had anything to do with this Kendrick Lamar beef because nobody from travel all the way up there. And then, like, if you get caught on a block, yeah, you might get hit.
Yeah.
I mean, Pac got caught in New York. Big got caught in Cali. If you on a block, yeah, you might need to be ducking, but nobody come all over to Canada. So, but they was talking about the other beef with what's his name? But then also, you could also have some people up there in Canada that like really, these people are so intertwined with music that their minds can be twisted and go off and do something stupid just because of the music beef.
That's like that JT and Sukihana beef.
Mm-hmm.
Because JT, she told Sukihana she's gonna send people to her.
Yeah.
If she keeps her name
Mm-hmm.
out. And they have beef going on too. So it's a lot of beef going on.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's always this beef and this drama. The only problem is when you take it past the music and it goes further into something violent. That's the only issue I see with like Michael Jackson's music ain't never caused nobody to harm anybody. I ain't never heard about.
But
nobody
speaking of Michael Jackson, you heard that Dirty Diana?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that was for Diana Ross.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
but
song's ruthless.
You ain't never heard about no beef where Michael Jackson's song. Michael Jackson and Prince didn't really get along.
Yeah.
They were cool, but they ain't really. You never heard about none of this in any other music except ours.
Because they know how to be like respectable. In rap, you have to have like this persona where you're like macho and nobody can mess with you and nobody can talk to you and you put people in their place.
Yeah. So your whole mantra is being disrespectful.
Yeah, basically.
So, I mean, is that the type of music we want to listen to? Like when you know that the music that you finna listen to is finna get you in a mood to want to harm somebody, don't you? I mean, can you really be a responsible, logical thinking adult to think that works?
It's hard because even that song like by Diddy, Hate Me Now.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I hear that song, I feel like I got beef.
Yeah, because it puts you in that type of mindset.
I feel like.
And then when you have the problem is when we have immature minds that are not fully developed, or people that are fully grown adults and are just dumber than a box of rocks.
Yeah.
Because then they are influenced by that music and it actually molds their mind to be a certain type of way. Especially when you get the kids that are receiving that type of music and it's actually molding their mind because their mind is not fully developed. So whatever you put in there is what's going to be connected to those brain synapses to fire a certain kind of way when they think about this or when they listen to it. But we want to act like it don't do nothing. Has no effect. But when the kids are exposed to it or the dummies are exposed to it, it actually has a mental effect on them. And affects their action.
Yeah.
And we can continue to pretend like it don't, and we'll continue to be at the bottom of the barrel, the bottom of the rat race. That's all I'm saying. But what do you think? What do you think about this whole rap beef? What do you think about rap beefs in general? The rap music is you can rock with it as an adult, but if you don't recognize, do you think it's what? Do you recognize it for real? I mean, I would really like to know: are you actually recognizing that rap music has that effect on young, adolescent, and or immature mind? Put it in the comments, or just put a thumbs up, thumbs down if you agree or disagree. Next up, what we got next up?
We got the congregation that needs to come to the front.
The congregation.
Well, not the congregation, the pastor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, that is Pastor Henderson, mega church. One of the mega churches. What church is that? I'm not sure. But Pastor had to shut down one of the choir members, and let's see what happened.
Hey. Stop her. Hush, hush. Silence in the name of Jesus. I lift my hands and the only voice I want heard is his. So praise.
So obviously that's what happened at church on Sunday. If you was at church already, you didn't see it. But if you was at home watching it, you might have seen it. But that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was on an episode, I guess, right after. He had to have had that scheduled to go on that show. Or they called him and he was like, yeah, I'm in town.
Yeah, well, he had to explain this, though.
Yeah. So this is what he said. This is what happened.
I always tell people a snippet of video is not the total story.
Yeah.
So tell me what happened there.
Well, social media is into cuts, not context.
Yeah.
And every suggestion that I got from every naysayer, I've already done. This is a 4-year battle, right?
Oh, this is ongoing.
This is ongoing. So I've already talked to her personally. I'd already had ushers go up to her. I've already had prayer warriors. I've had everything. So she did it publicly after being asked not to.
What is she? Is she crying? Is an emotional?
Well, as a pastor, I know the difference between disturbance and worship. And what people have to understand is that every time you hear a noise in church, it isn't worship. And so there has to be order. For instance, it's okay to applaud in this room right now. But if somebody got up and just started clapping right now, I'm sure somebody would bring order to the room.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I brought order to the room so people could hear God and not her. And I'd do it again if I needed to.
Wow. Always.
Hey, clap for that pastor right there. Pastor Keon Henderson. What do you think?
I mean, I see both sides. Because in one aspect, she was she was there to do praise and worship. She should have been part of the program. If she had too much going on in her life, she should have excused herself, sat down, and been there at the altar with the rest of the people who need assistance, right? But then in another sense, if you're thinking in like the Christian manner, you're supposed to like stop everything and then go help that person that's in need, or just be there for them while they're hurting or going through whatever they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, was it Jesus left the 99 to go get the one?
Get the one, yeah.
So I think it's important that we look at both views. Like, what are we leaning towards when we say, okay, we should be leaning on faith and being Christians? Like, what's
Right.
the proper way to do it?
Well, to be a Christian. But to be a Christian is to be Christ-like. So if
But I think
you
that's Christ like.
is it Christ? So Christ used wisdom to do things at certain times.
But at the same time, he had people that interrupted him too. Remember when he was walking through and the lady that touched his
The hem of his garment.
yeah.
That was actually for a different reason.
And it was a different reason, but
No. I mean the reason he stopped everything was
Okay.
actually for a different reason.
Mhm.
Because he did that because she needed to witness so that the centurion that came to him, a man that was coming to have his child healed, needed the faith. So in order to have faith, he had to see somebody else get healed and witness about it. But when you're playing a role or you're in a specific role in the church, your role is there in order to bring others to Christ. So yes, you can be in the spirit, you can have the feeling, but you still have to be able to control yourself because you have a role to play in the church, in the house of God, in order to bring people to Christ. If your worship becomes a distraction to others, you are no longer playing your role and you are outside of the will of God.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm security. Right? If you come to my church and you see me, if you see me, please believe, don't do nothing stupid. But I can't just fall out in church in praise and worship.
Yeah.
Because if I'm falling out, who is watching the door? If she's falling out and doing all that during praise and worship, and her screams are preventing someone else from receiving what God has for them, she is out of pocket. And then he like you said, he tried to tell. I didn't know that. I didn't know he tried to tell her that until we watched the video. But even if he hadn't, she was out of pocket, and she should have known that because you're at the church, because you've been in the church long enough to become a choir member. You should have enough understanding and discernment to know when you need to praise and when you need to be quiet so other people can receive God.
It's weird that like the other staff members didn't pull her to the side, be like,
they've talked to her
They didn't
before.
know. They didn't
They
know what
probably
to do.
like, man, she do this every Sunday. This is ridiculous. Like, I know
She need to have a
she
seat
need to be
then.
in her prayer closet doing that. Be in your prayer closet doing that, and then on Sunday you need to be there to serve, or you need to be down at the altar.
She's very loud.
Yeah, but it even happened though. It happened. Okay, it happened in the Bible. So that for people to say that's not what a pastor should do, it literally happened in the Bible, and I'll show you where it happened at, right here. So this is in Acts 16:17 through 19, when Paul was walking somewhere and the woman was like just shouting out, stuff. He says, this girl followed Paul and us and cried out, saying, "These men are the servants of the Most High God." She was telling the truth, who proclaimed to us the way of salvation, and this she did for many days. So she didn't just say it once; she said it over and over again, like the woman in the choir, day after day, Sunday after Sunday. She's going above and beyond when she's supposed to be serving a purpose to make sure that others are able to receive the Holy Spirit. So, but Paul, greatly annoyed, turned and said to the Spirit, "I command you in the name of Jesus Christ, come out of her." And he came out that very hour. But when her masters saw their hope, okay, they got scared and they pushed Paul and Silas out. But that is literally proof of that's how it's supposed to go. If they acting out of pocket and you done told them, and then they still doing it, and then it's becoming a point where it's disturbing the ministry of Christ, they got to be told. And if you're going to do it in front of the whole church over and over again every Sunday, you're not doing it for God. You're doing it for you, because now you just praying like the priest in the synagogue just praying the same prayer loud and loud and loud. You already receiving your reward. You're trying to show everybody how much you worship God. Do that in your prayer closet.
So do you think it's a point when people need to like keep themselves when it comes to praise and worship? Because you know some people do the most.
Yeah.
which is okay in a sense, but
Mm-hmm.
in other words, it's like overkill. You know? So
Some people need it. Some people need to go that far in order to receive what they're asking for from God. But at a point where the pastor knows you're going too far, you need to stop. When the pastor starts trying to move on to the next portion in order to keep the service going, and you're still doing what she was doing, you are now being disruptive. You're not actually doing it for God. And then, especially if you've been at the church, if you've been under Christ for a while, you're just not. You're doing it for yourself. So, hey, hopefully she understands that now. Hopefully she understands that.
you have to recuse yourself.
Yeah. But what do you think?
She's causing
What do y'all think in the comments? Do you think Pastor Henderson was going too far? He did too much, or was she doing too much? Did he do the right thing, or did she? Was she right for doing what she was doing? Let us know in the comments. So, that being said, we got to talk about what's next.
Let's bring the teachers to the front.
Now we
All
bring
the
somebody
teachers.
else to the front of the front of the congregation.
Yeah.
Oh my! And then now you're trying to hit hard because you're talking about teachers. You know that's a sore spot. Let's see what you got. What we got here?
Fearmonger you, but I was an assistant principal, I was a middle school teacher, and I was a high school teacher. And I need you to know America is in a literacy crisis, and they're not making a big enough deal about it. Our children cannot read. Our children cannot read, let alone writing a paragraph, let alone comprehension. They cannot read. They do not know how to sound words out. They were not taught that. And if you're wondering, well, then why does my kid just keep getting passed on to the next grade? Because that's what they're doing now. They're not holding the children back. They're moving them on. They're graduating them, knowing that your child is illiterate. Our next change makers, our next lawmakers, our next voters cannot read. I beg of you, take the tablets and the cell phones away. Practice letter recognition and sounds and reading with your child, please. And I'm going to keep it a stack with you. They been knew. They been knew the babies couldn't read and didn't care. You know when they started caring? After the pandemic. Them test scores plummeted. First of all, like test scores for reading were like pretty stagnant for the last like decade. But after the pandemic, they plummeted. And now they were like, oh, we got to do something about it. Columbia University, I'm looking at you. You fully backed balanced reading. Fully backed it. Teachers College was 100% pushing out balanced reading. That's why the kids don't know how to sound things out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go do some research. Now they're trying to push science of reading. That's the way. And if you're like, what's science of reading? That's what we was doing. And by we, I'm talking about millennials and older. The one, the little you know, when we were sounding words out, that's, yeah. Now they're trying to bring that back. And if you're like, wait, they stopped doing that? Yes! For years, they stopped doing it. I'm going to say this last thing and I'm going to be done. If you have the opportunity and the privilege, right? Because like taking off from work is a privilege. You need to start, and by you, I'm talking to parents and guardians, start going to these PTSA meetings and these district meetings. They are passing so many policies and they're banking on the fact that parents and families are not going to show up. You need to know what those policies are and how they're affecting your children, particularly Black and brown children. They know families can't or won't show up. You need to be more involved with your students' schooling, their life.
Okay, what you got? I mean,
Yes.
I mean, she's right.
Yes, she is.
She is right, but the background on it is
They say.
because it's not just at the board, the school board level. It's at the state and
It's all over
mostly
the
at the state
country,
level.
really.
But yeah, but the states are supposed to be running their curriculum the way they want to. And the problem is the education board and the district superintendents, those people are beheld to elected officials who have never been in a school. So they are just trying to make the numbers because that's what the elected officials are hitting them over the head with. Every elected official just want to say, "Oh, we got the highest numbers. We got the highest numbers. We got the highest numbers." But guess what? You got the highest numbers of students moving to the next grade, but your numbers of students that can actually read moving to the next grade are far lower.
Yeah.
But all they were ever worried about is the number of students. They would want to see students moving to the next grade instead of seeing students being held back because they need more remedial education, because that makes them look bad. Nobody wants to look bad.
That's why they came up with that No Child Left Behind.
Yeah.
But I think it's not only the school, the district, the board, it's also the parents.
It's definitely the parents.
That's where the foundation of learning starts.
Yeah.
So if you have your child and you're starting them for school at like 5 and 6 and they can't read or at least write and scribble on the paper, what are you doing? Like that, you have 5 years to prepare. Your child should at least be able to know how to hold a pencil and scribble on the paper.
It's still, but then anytime you blame the parents or say that the parents have some level of responsibility, there will always be an immediate response of, well, I got to work. I got to feed these kids. I don't have time to teach them. I don't have time to do that. But then knowing what that creates, it creates a perpetuating cycle of kids having kids who have to work in order to feed those kids. And we ain't never going to stop it.
In that sense, you have a time. If there's 24 hours in a day, you have time. Even if you set aside 5 minutes, all right, I'm gonna show this baby what the letter A, B, and C is, what it looks like.
Yeah, but mama tired. She tired. She came home from
You can
work.
lay in the bed
She
and
been
do
working
that.
16 hours. She tired. She ain't got time to be. Exactly.
You can make what's this thing called, spaghetti, and take the sauce and make make letters, or get they even made it with SpaghettiOs, the alphabets and stuff like that.
But she said
different ways to do it.
But she said a really key point is she said, I beg you, put the phones and tablets down.
However, I don't agree with that because there's a lot of educational. The thing about the tablets and stuff is what they have access to.
Exactly. And nobody, even if you give them the tablet and if you don't stand over there and watch them, exactly.
They're going to go on YouTube.
Exactly. You know what? I can monitor whether or not you're writing on that paper or not. I can walk right past you and see if you're writing on it.
Yeah.
You can easily click a different screen when I walk past you on the tablet.
It's limiting the
and then you got parents, and then that's at school. But what about at home? There's no monitoring. Kids are on the tablets, the cell phones all day.
Yeah, but as parents, you do be tired. You just be like,
now you want to give them.
No, I'm just playing advocate. I'm seeing
playing advocate.
I'm looking at both. I'm looking at both sides because I can see where there's a deficit, and I can see why the deficit is there, and it's because we have these long work days. Like you have to go in order to make a decent paycheck. You have to work 40 hours in a week, sometimes more. And that doesn't include the prep time to get there, the prep time to get back. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like 40 hours plus everything else.
You know what you don't have to do?
What's that?
You don't have to buy your child a cell phone.
You don't.
You don't have to buy your child a tablet. Boom. That's it. You don't buy your child a cell phone or a tablet, and you don't buy cable, or you don't give them access to a fire stick, they're going to find a way to keep themselves entertained, and it's only going to be a book.
They might find other stuff.
Like what?
Well, myself personally, I love reading. I love everything.
They gonna find a book, or they gonna go outside and play?
Get into stuff. Climb fences.
Mm-hmm.
Drop off their bike, break their arm.
That builds muscle.
Crazy.
That builds endurance. That builds resilience. Only resilience they got nowadays is playing the game, playing the level again until they beat the top boss.
Yeah, that
dying 100 times, crying about it, and then finally keep playing though.
Well, it is true because a lot of times, not a lot of times, but when you go outside, you don't really see kids playing on the block. It just be dry and dusty.
And then think about it. Remember, our kids' school had to send out a message asking parents to get their kids not to keep the phones and be playing on the phones, because the principal had to send out a message because the kids have their phones in class and it's making them distracted. Why are we buying our kids phones as if that's going to change anything for their protection and safety? It does not.
I think it does.
How?
I don't agree.
I've spoken to entire teachers that say it still don't have it. So
that's a teacher.
Exactly.
But when they getting home and getting off the bus, what they got? But listen,
put an air tag on it.
Nope. In most districts, in most districts, they have where they have the younger kids coming out of school earlier than the older kids, which is stupid. But that's how they have it. So the parent is at work. You got to make sure your kid is in the house at least. Get off the bus.
You can do that
walk
with Alexa.
You can, but Alexa can't track them to get to the house.
Don't buy them a phone. Buy them an AirPod. The Apple Pod. And then attach it to their book bag, and then when they come in the house, they can call you on Alexa.
That I'm saying that works too. However, it's not efficient.
Why is it not efficient?
Because you need that contact to.
Okay, I'll give you another one. Get them the phone. Keep the phone at home. They get home, they call you.
That's like a house phone. You might as well have a.
We don't keep house phones anymore, right? So have a phone there at the house for them to call you when they get into the house. See, the problem is we want to give all these excuses why
it's not
why our we have all these reasons why our kids need to have a phone, but then also say that the teachers in the school ain't teaching them enough. But you sending your child to school with a distraction.
You can,
and you're not there to control them.
You can limit that though.
You can
if you really want it being limited. You can
yes.
take the
It's still on
like the time,
but then it's still you still say it still boils down to what you said at the beginning. It's the parents.
Well, yeah.
It's the parents it's the kids having kids too early. Now they're parents and they can't keep. There's a reason why most of the time the most successful families didn't start having kids until their late 20s, because they had established a type of income, secure income, a household.
That's the right way of
support the kids. But we keep doing it the wrong way every generation, and then saying I gotta work because I gotta take care of and feed these kids. But then when are we gonna stop it? When are we gonna stop the continual cycle of having to work to feed the kids because we had the kids too early before we could establish a career and a household to raise them up in? We're not, because we're going to keep giving them access to all the things that contaminate their minds and keep them distracted until they go out to find somebody to lay down with because they're bored, because the phone was not enough for them. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, what you think? Yeah. Is it the school? Is it the parents? Is it the government? Is it, I think,
society?
It's society.
Social media,
it's all
everything.
of it. All of it is interacting in order to continue to keep one special race down. And it's us. Because we don't stop it. Anyway, that got a little tense.
It did.
My bad. So tell us what you think though. Put a like if you like this discussion. Put a comment. Tell us what you feel. How much you can't stand me because I be saying this stuff. It's okay. My wife can't stand me at least once a day, so I'm good, bro.
Oh man. Well, while we have the teachers to the front, there's some more teacher drama that we need to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're gonna
this
hit y'all with this next video.
Oh
and
my goodness.
It's guaranteed
This is
to
interesting.
it's guaranteed to
Very interesting.
For the pod a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. Let's go ahead and start. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. This week we were doing STEM fair. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a first science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange. So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out because they know that they have a safe space to be themselves around me. What I strive to do as an educator is be the teacher I wish I had grown up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child will be proud of. Science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about Yeah, let's go ahead and start clearing some people. Start off with this gentleman right here. You're letting your daughters play in a grown man's head. God forbid I had kids, but if I had a daughter with a teacher like myself, with a good heart, good spirit, sound mind, no, I would not mind if they took his hair out. That's what little girls like to do. They like to do hair and do nails and makeup. I have 5 little sisters. You bet your I done had a wig on my head before, had a whole lace front. I done got my nails painted, eyebrows done. Bro, this is what they do. As a father, I would even let my daughter do those things. Like if she wanted to paint my nails pink or freaking put a wig on me or do my hair or put makeup on me, I'm going to do every single one of those things. You know why? Because I'm secure in my masculinity. That's one thing that I think is stumping a lot of guys, a lot of grown men today, is they are not secure with themselves and they project their own insecurities onto others.
You said a mouthful. My headphone falling back. Yeah, he said a mouthful.
So we got 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
You want our girls unbraiding a teacher's hair?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. See, some of this stuff it can't apply to me because if I see a video like that, I'll be like, I'm gonna put my shoes on. I'm gonna be up at that school. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call the principal. Like, hey, what's going on in that school? Because principal already know me.
Yeah.
Call the principal. What's going on in that school? I'm gonna be up there. Even if the school's over, I'm gonna be up there early morning the next day, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it. And I'm gonna kill that at the end. But when you actually sit down and think about it, take yourself outside of being the parent of the children that's in the classroom.
Yeah.
A lot of these children don't have parents that are being as attentive to them and nurturing them and stuff. These teachers are like the parents to these children because they're spending so much time with the kids, right? Like day in and day out. Sometimes the kids go home, parents is not there until later on in the night, and then they only see them for like maybe like a couple hours, and then that's it. But with that being said, these children are developing relationships with their teachers, not only as mentors, but kind of as like the children of the teacher. And unfortunately, it leads into things like this. Now, him as a teacher and as an adult, he should know not to cross the lines and when to say, okay, this isn't within the scope of me teaching, so we can't really do this because you can't, as a teacher, drop a child home. So that shouldn't be allowed either, at all. That's very close. That's very personal. You have to look how close she's standing to him. Like, and she's a child that's developed. Suppose her body touches against his. You can't have that happening. There's too many lines that can be blurred across. So I don't think that's acceptable. At all.
I was teeter-tottering on it because first time when I saw it, when I first watched it, I'm like, okay, this is giving Mario off rip. I'm as soon as I see it, I'm like, braid my hair,
Yeah, me too.
come on and braid my hair. But so I was like, okay, this is weird. This is weird, definitely weird. But then I'm also thinking, okay, for one, so they had 3 district superintendents at Congress the other day, and one of them was a woman, black woman, was referring to the kids under her as her babies, right? So she's like, okay, they're my babies. So part of what he said was if this was a female teacher, nobody would have anything to say, and that's true. But that's because of what you were saying. Like there's certain, okay, for one, children do not learn from teachers that they don't like.
Yeah.
So for them to feel comfortable enough to do that, okay, I understand that part. But you as this supervisor, as the adult and the actual teacher, you should know that there's a line that you should not cross,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of if you feel comfortable enough with them or if they feel comfortable enough with you, because of the reason that you're saying. Because they could get not even if they accidentally break, they could start to think that they're close enough to you in order to even try to take it even further.
Yeah.
There has to be a line, and yes, this is what girls do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're their father, yes, you can do that. But you can be a father figure or an older brother figure without crossing those lines. If you want to do that, go be a big brother in some other like volunteer state.
Yeah.
But as a teacher, you have to establish a leader-led type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you want to have this symbiosis of one helping one another.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's a certain line that you're not supposed to cross.
You just don't cross that. Yeah.
So I don't think I understand where he's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
because and then at the same time, also you in that environment, pretty much the girls run the school.
Yeah.
So if your female students like you as a teacher and they respect you, they're gonna even have your back when anyone else in that environment disrespects you.
Yeah.
So they will actually help you to keep the class in line and keep the students under a positive control. But you just should. I don't think you should cross that line.
Yeah. There's so many other ways that he can be a positive influence in their life.
Exactly.
Besides sitting there and getting his hair fixed by them.
Yeah. First, and
as
I was watching it, and I was watching, I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, he makes a point. But then I'm listening to your point. I'm like, you're right. There's a line that you just shouldn't cross.
Yeah.
And just don't think you should have crossed that line. Yeah, I mean, if your hair was good enough to do the video interview the day before,
exactly,
and it could have lasted an extra day. Your hair could have lasted an extra. Oh no, he was good. He wanted to get his hair done so that he can go somewhere else for another event. So you should have just kept your hair in and changed the hair appointment.
And it's interesting. I wonder how that came about. Like, was he is he in the classroom speaking of his personal life?
No, he like coordinated that jump. He said he had to teach students from other classes. He wrote a pass for them to leave that class if all their work was done, and it's 10 minutes before the end of the day.
But just how the subject just come up.
Well,
like he could be like, oh, I think, like, did he approach them and say, can y'all help me? Or did they approach him and say, hey, I can help you take your hair out or something like that?
Yeah.
That means he has a lot more of his personal life that he's discussing with these kids.
Not for hair. So I don't think so, because when it comes to if we're talking about hair, event. Because when he says kids come there to chill out because they feel comfortable, like kids can come to teachers' classrooms during lunch period and hang out if they feel comfortable with that teacher.
Yeah.
And when you're communicating with students, especially in this type of role, when you have that type of connection, it is still like it's a big brother type of relationship. So he could be talking about, oh, I gotta go get my hair done, because they're females, so they're talking about hair. He's like, yeah, I gotta get mine done. So it could come up in conversation. I don't think that would be too much or too revealing in his personal life, but it is definitely too much to have them actually do it.
Yeah.
But in communication, it's like you give something that is not so much too personal, but enough for them to feel like they can relate to you, and then they give enough to be able to depend on you as an actual mentor. So, but I just that was too far. That's too much.
You gotta think of it as if it was your kids.
Yeah.
How you feel?
I mean, I don't feel like I would have an issue, but it's not an issue for me for my kids. For me, it's an issue of, I believe there's a certain line that has to be drawn between teacher and student. And that line was crossed, in my opinion.
So what would you say like to the teacher if it was a girl?
I would ask him, do you believe this is completely professional? Do you believe that there's this line? Because when they're doing stuff like that, if one of the kids do get out of pocket, then they feel overly comfortable to be able to deal with the disrespect as well. Because we all know a younger sibling will disrespect the older brother anytime.
Yeah.
You know, set the right moment of time. So it's like, do you feel like you could have, that this line might be crossed? And if it might be crossed, then it's crossed. And then if you disagree, then be like, I would say, well, I disagree with you, and I would like that you don't have that type of interaction with my daughter.
Yeah.
And if we got a problem, we can take it to the next level. And I ain't saying what level that is. I'm gonna do it professionally. You just won't have your job no more.
Yeah.
So, because if the parents make enough stink about it, he gonna either stop or lose his job either way. So, like, you kind of biting off more than you can chew but the parents say they good with it. So,
yeah.
Anyway, good for him though, having a type of, you know,
positive
influence for real, especially as a black man. And then there's another point. When we have 75% of our children, of our households being led by single mothers, a lot of children don't have that type of relationship with an older man that they can actually trust. And that they can trust, and who don't want nothing for them but the best for them. So that's tough, but I just feel like there's a line.
Well,
what do you think?
What do you think?
Put
so
it in the
let
comments.
us know. Put it in the comments. You know, like, share, subscribe. I know the real.
For sure.
Let us know what y'all think.
What do you think? Is he crossing the line? Is it too far, or are people just overreacting? Put in the comments. Let us know. And moving on to the next thing, which is kind of what I was just saying at the end of that, though, is feeling safe, right? Especially for women, being able to feel safe around people and men that just are not trying to always want something for them or always trying to get into their pants. Tiffany Haddish was on Breakfast Club, and it was actually a good interview. She said some things that I was like, oh, got a little bit more depth to her. But we still don't go with the ratchet stuff. So she said something that really actually pointed out to me what a lot of black women, in my opinion, actually feel. I'm just gonna leave it right there and let her explain.
Also, I'm a little difficult.
Yeah,
I'm sweet though.
How do you mean
I'm
you're
a little difficult? I want to do what I want to do.
Okay.
Because that's part of, I think, not growing up with the father is like, I don't know how to I know how to take orders, right?
See that though? Not growing up with the father she believes makes her difficult. So that's what I was saying about the younger kids. Like, they don't have that older male figure to relate to, so they're less likely to want to even deal with a man or take anything from a man, because my daddy wasn't even there. My daddy wasn't even there for me to listen to. Why makes you think I gotta listen to you? But I'll let it keep on.
And I know how to get things done. If you ask me to do something, I'm gonna get it done for you. But I'm gonna do it on my time when I feel like it. And if a man's like, I need you to call me when you leave out of here, I want you to be here at this time, whatever. If I'm not getting a paycheck, I'm gonna show up when I feel like it. I'm gonna be at your house when I feel like coming to your house. I think that's been the biggest issue. Is like, I don't want to feel like I got to answer to this man. Because you're not paying my mortgage. You're not like, if I'm just humping on you, then like,
yeah,
you're not
if you
providing
in a relationship,
but if we in a relationship, I feel like there's some common courtesy, right? But I don't have to do back bends for you.
Especially if the man ain't making that.
That's what all of them say. I don't gotta bend over for you. I gotta bend backwards over for you.
I'm laughing.
It's true. Like, I ain't gotta bend over backwards for you. Who is you? You ain't paying my bills.
Okay. I agree with what you
Yeah.
said. I see what you're saying. Because especially like being like whenever I was like a black single female out in the world, ain't nobody come ain't no man
I'm
gonna
making
come
my
and
own.
tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then it's hard to be submissive to
Oh, whoa,
somebody.
whoa. Who said submissive? Ain't
I'm
nobody
just
said.
saying.
Don't be using that word. That word is
Because
that's like
if
pouring gasoline on the
because
fire.
if you're in a relationship and a guy is like, all right, it's sweet. It starts out sweet when they're like, text me when you get
Yeah,
there, or
yeah. Oh, he care.
before you go there, text me, or where you going,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. It
Mm-hmm.
starts out sweet, but when you get into a relationship and y'all together and like, hey, where you going? Text me when you get there. Why you ain't text me?
Mm-hmm.
I've been waiting for your text. It's like, why is he bothering me like
Mm-hmm.
that? Like it gets into that because um black females are so used to having our own back. Like we don't have like the man that's there to rely on, and when we get that,
Mm-hmm.
it's so like alien to us that we don't know how to treat it or
Yeah.
how to behave
But then
when we have
also,
it.
a part of it, I think, is like I don't want to be controlled.
Mhm.
I think a big part of it, I don't want to be controlled.
I think is they don't mind being controlled. It just has to be controlled in a way that
Is
they can take it or
yeah.
that's in their comfort zone.
Uh-huh. But there's not, that goes two ways too, though.
Yeah.
And I think that's an issue because, like, okay, well, if you don't want to be controlled,
Mhm.
don't try to control me neither. See how that works?
I see it.
Yeah, but it don't work like that. It's like, okay,
Nobody wants to be
nobody wants
controlled.
to be controlled, but
Mhm.
everybody want to have the control.
Like, see, in order to have control, you have to have submissiveness.
I'm not
Because
using that word.
I'm
not.
you have to be able
Submissive,
to be in a
submissive.
you have to be able to be in a position where you're like humble and confident with
But
it
then the man also submits to the woman too, though.
and be humble
If
and
that
confident.
happens, then it's not. If you're using the submissive in that way, both
Mhm.
submit to one another.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nobody. But then that still feels like being controlled until you actually go back into that symbiosis.
It's so hard because all right, then if we take the word control out and put leader in put leader, then it sounds a little bit softer.
What?
But
Ain't no woman trying to be led.
yeah, they are.
She talked about that too. We talked about that. Hold
Okay.
on. Yeah, but go. You can finish what you're saying.
No, but you want a man that's gonna like give you like good direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, for myself, I don't even listen to the GPS half the time.
Mhm.
So when I say lead, I mean you want somebody to be able to be like, okay, I got your back.
Mhm.
Like whatever you have planned or set forth, I'm gonna help you execute that mission.
Mhm.
But oftentimes we get people that come in and they try to change the mission or change the idea that you have that's already set in place, and they tell you that whatever you have set in place isn't good enough or
Mhm.
what they present is better, and that's
Mhm.
where the discord comes.
I think the discord comes in where you don't agree with what he said. Like you,
But
like you
that's
were
part
saying,
of
you're doing it your way,
Mhm.
and he thinks it's better, a different way,
Mhm.
and you don't agree with it, and that's where the pushback comes. But it comes back to what Charlamagne pointed out. So that was pretty good on him.
You keep using a word that I think we don't use enough, which is safety.
Yeah.
We gotta feel safe around each other.
Right.
Like that's the whole purpose of community, to make each other feel safe. If we're not making each other feel safe, what's the point?
Yeah, it's no point in me even spending time with you or talking to you or wasting any energy on you. If I don't feel safe with you, I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I'll ghost you. I won't ghost you. I'll just be like, I don't feel safe. And then I won't not answer no more phone calls.
When it comes to safety, it's in order for somebody, in order for her to let him lead, she has to feel safe in his decision making as a leader.
And that's important.
Yes, that is definitely important. But where the problem lies is, how do you get there? Exactly, because in order, matter of fact, let me shut up. One last clip, and then it's like you asking the exact questions that I was thinking.
Like Tom Dreesen, old white man, but he give me some of the best advice.
Old white man. Why she gotta say that part? It almost makes it seem like she ain't listen to nobody but an old white. Not the case though. I was like, whoa, what?
And he he'll hold me. I'll be crying and he'll just hold me, you know? Or I like bringing, I'll bring guys that I'm like dating by him and he'll be like, that one's not going to make it, Tiffany. Don't even let that guy go. He's not going to make it.
Do you listen to him when he says that?
Yeah, I do. Okay. At first I didn't listen to him and he was right every single time. He was.
Boom. That's it. That's it right there.
You gotta be right. So
no.
I gotta be right.
We gotta.
So if I understand it correctly, that we have to have these interactions where it proves or shows that y'all are right. And it's like, you know what? He's right. Maybe I should listen. And then it goes from maybe, you know what? I'm gonna listen to him.
Because most of the time he be right when he says something. Guess what? That's exactly the truth. Like the only way she can feel safe in letting you lead is if you've proven to her that you are capable of leading her, right?
But you have to prove,
right? But here's the thing. The problem with that is not you being you, but you being the successful black woman has already deemed that you are capable of leading yourself based off of where you are now in life. Your success, right? But if you find a man that's successful enough to be worthy of dating you, has he not also proven his capabilities?
He has, but you got
to prove it to you, right?
You have to do that, and then you have to show. You have to show like beyond that.
It has to be beyond. But I'm saying at that level where you believe that everything that you've been through and that you've reached has deemed you to be a leader, he's done similar, if not sometimes higher, because we all want practice. Well, hypergamy means that she wants somebody that's higher than her. So has he not proven himself to be a good decision maker?
That's the way of life, though. You know why? Because when you go to a job and you're on that job, and say you get hired as a manager, you can't come in and be like, "All right, I see what y'all doing here, and it's working. Let me
help it work better.
Throw some changes in it." They're not gonna allow it for you to come like right in.
No, you
and automatically you have to show yourself. You have probationary period. You have
depends on where you come in at. Depends on what if you said you come in a management position, you your resume proves what you're capable of, and they put you in a position of leadership. So they expect you to make changes in order to improve the organization.
But before you make the changes, you have to see what's going on already.
Yeah, but it's not no 90-day probationary period. It's 30 days.
Okay.
30 days where you observe what's going on, and then you start making changes or start drawing up a plan in order to improve.
Yeah, but that's
90
still,
days.
that's
A third, a fourth of a year.
Take the number off. Not probationary period in general. You
Yeah.
still have to go through that in order to complete the success.
Yeah. But has he not gone through that to get to the point where you doing this and doing that with him? Here's the thing. One last thing. I'm gonna just slide this one in there. What she said was, at first I didn't. But then he kept being right. The problem that we men have to do is we have to sit here and tell you what we think to be the right choice, allow you to make your choice, be wrong about it, and then still stay there long enough for you to realize that I'm right very often.
But is it not worth it?
But
if you're in a relationship and you're in a relationship to build and to grow and to go through the changes, sometimes sometimes it sucks for a little bit.
It is,
and you have to be able to embrace that suck in order to get to the bigger picture.
It's worth it.
It's a lot of people that's not strong enough to withstand that.
Yeah,
and then they break, they become broken, and then they leave in pieces.
Okay, but and that's true, and I believe it's worth it. That's why we're still together. But what I'm saying is, how about, okay, let me put it in this perspective. Let's marry that up to side by side with a man that cheats.
But stick through it.
Yeah, I'm saying marry a woman that always that most often takes her own decision or her own choice to do it her way versus what he believes to be the right way. So marry that with a man that cheats and a woman that wants monogamy.
I don't think that correlates.
Why not?
Because a man that cheats don't know what he wants out of life, and he's testing to see.
Not always. No, what if he's just out there?
He's lacking something. He's going out there to.
I could say the same thing about the woman. Because the woman is lacking something in her choosing a man that she doesn't want to let lead.
That can be true, but a person that cheats has more of a deficit than anybody else because they not only are incomplete within themselves, they're incomplete with their partner, so they have to go out and fill pieces in order to feel whole. Because if you're out there and you're cheating, you obviously not getting something.
Okay, say that. Let's literally marry that with married. And the vows. Some vows don't always do it, but say the vows that say love, honor, and obey. Right? If the vows say love, honor, and obey, y'all get married, you say I do, but for the words that's in the vows, you don't obey. Is that not cheating?
Going against your word?
Yeah, it's cheating. It's going against your word. It's cheating on what you said you were gonna do, and now he has to deal with that, right? Because it's worth it. He should deal with it because it is worth it. Because eventually, it will come out right. But
I think cheating is seeking a outside resource to supplement what you have going on. It's looking for a complementary.
But you're saying that from a woman's perspective. I'm saying from a man's perspective. If I say something that we should do it this way, and you consistently do it your way, in a man's feelings, that feels like you're cheating on me because you're choosing.
I don't think so.
Yourself every time. We said I do,
I feel
and
like
you're choosing yourself.
I feel like
hold on. Let me say, because cheating is a man choosing himself. He's choosing his own feelings, his own physical desires. He's choosing himself over his wife's and her emotional feelings and how what he does will hurt her. She's doing the same thing, not physically, but has the same effect. Because she's choosing herself, her choice, her ideas of what things should be, her concept of how she wants things to go, her feelings about whether or not it's going her way. She's choosing herself over him and what he believes to be right, even though she said love, honor, and obey.
So he basically just feels like he's cheated out.
Yes.
He feels
And then
robbed of a...
Okay. And then what if her choices, what if her decisions have negative consequences for the entire household? The same way his cheating has negative consequences for the entire household. I'll give you an example. My ex, when we were young, like maybe like a year, not even a year married, maybe. But I wanted this 2005 Chevy Impala with the circle lights. My best friend had one. I loved it. I wanted one. I finally was able to buy one. I paid cash for it. And then I bought it and also had to put a new radiator in it. So I bought it, paid cash, boom, got it. Finally. It was a champagne color 4-door Impala. That mud was clean. I loved it. But she wanted to drive from Fort Bragg, North Carolina to Connecticut with our newborn son in the car because she wanted to go to her brother's high school graduation. I couldn't take leave or pass, so she decided she was going to go by herself. I did not want her to go. She went anyway. Right outside the Connecticut state line, she got distracted. The car in front of her slammed on the brakes. She slammed on the back of the car, in front of her. My brand new to me 2005 Chevy Impala is totaled. So it was damaged so much to the point where it would have cost more for me to fix it than it even cost for me to buy it. My car, gone. $5,000, $5,500, gone. Having to buy a whole nother car because she needed still a stable vehicle for when I was deployed. Her choice completely affected the entire household against what I thought was the best for our family at the time. That's a life example of how that happened.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're talking. I know what you're saying. A lot of times the decisions that we make, it does affect everybody else. Be it good or bad. Some of the decisions that men as a household or men as a head of the household make can alter the decisions in the house too. It's not saying that every decision that they make is right. There's some times when they're wrong.
Yeah.
So it's just life, and
but like I said, it's
what we have
safety
to
and
deal with.
it's safety in being able to trust that they're gonna make most of the time the right decision.
It's safety in being right. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I was going back to she has to feel safe. But her feeling safe only happens over a period of time where he has to endure her choosing not to trust him because he hasn't been there or hasn't made her feel safe yet.
And then it goes from her having to feel safe to her getting comfortable and being okay and saying, okay, I'm gonna let him lead, to him it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Then he's like, okay, I need to feel safe because I need to make sure that whatever you say, I'm okay with you going that you're okay because from past history, you've been going with what you want to do. So it goes back and forth.
Oh yeah.
So we throw the ball back and forth
Yeah.
until we actually are
Still a
able to.
symbiosis.
Yeah. It's just what it is. Life.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just gotta be able to rock and roll with
That
it.
was interesting. She said some other good stuff too. Talked about war and religion. And it was really good. It was a really good conversation. I enjoyed it. I was surprisingly, I enjoyed it. And she took accountability for herself and her own actions. So that was a dope conversation. What do y'all think about everything? Do you think that it's worth it? Do you think it's worth it for the men? Do you think it's a trust thing, or is it just a I don't want to be led by anybody thing? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button. Continue to share. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
All right. So if you reached this far, please remember to hit like, comment, share, and
Subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications for all future episodes.
I'm your doctor.
I'm your boy, Mr. Define.
We are
Black Press.
Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.